Today, the thought is how you should read, how you should catch the philosophy, so that you should be able to gauge that from that philosophy how you can attempt the question. From federalism, UPSC has asked many questions since 1980s. Up to 2013, it is a regular question on federalism. If we have a knowledge of philosophy of federalism, question can be question. We can attempt the question of any type. Like these are questions. From 2013 onwards, every year a question is there on federalism, and that too not on the factual part, but on the functioning part. What is the functioning of federalism? So today, first I will give you the philosophy of federalism, then we will attempt the question. And from that philosophy, you will be able to understand if that is the method of reading, how you can attempt the question. In federalism, first we will see what is the federalism, what is the concept of federalism. Because whenever you are reading, first you should know the philosophy, the context due to which why that concept came. So first, whenever you are reading, first have a knowledge of idea, knowledge of the concept, why this concept of federalism came. So idea, its root. When you are in that mode, it will help you in writing introduction. Second, you should know essential of this federalism. What condition a constitution should meet to be called as federalism. Third, in this context, what is the nature of Indian federalism? So in this context, unitary feature and federal feature. Then Indian federation in practice, what are the principles in legislature, in administrative relation, and in financial aspect. But from the current part, also you should know what are the contested areas, new upcoming. But when you are reading this, you should also know recommendation of Sarkaria and Punchi, what they are saying. Then for dynamism, the evolution of Indian federalism from 47 to till date 2023. What are the phases? They are not asking this fifth one, but the thought of fifth will be useful in any question. Any question, conclusion or introduction can be from this part, because they are asking evolution, functioning part. Clear? Now I'm starting the philosophy of federalism. What is federalism? What is the concept of federalism? Why this concept came? Because in answer writing, we should know that thinking, because that will help you in writing good introduction, or to argue, to have a different point. What is federalism? What is the concept of federalism? Why this came? Is this idea of recent or of past? Is this a theory or is it a practical utility? What is this? It is a structure or it is a functioning part? What is it? What is it? What is federalism? What is the concept of federalism? बताओ. Is this idea of federalism? It's a power sharing. Okay. Decentralization powers and LSG is also should be part. Why this concept came? The idea of federation is when independent units are there, they feel there may be a threat. So they combine together so that they can have a secure protection. But at the same time, they want to maintain their autonomy, independence. And this thought gave the concept of federation. This idea as a practice in recent modern constitution can be traced back to the USA 1787. But in practice, it is as far as old as Greece civilization. So here, according to A.V. Dicey, लिखते रहना साथ साथ. Here, according to A.V. Dicey, you know about him. He gave the famous principle of rule of law. So according to him, there are two sentiments for federalism. One sentiment is where your people are bounded by race, region. So they feel there should be a common nationality. There should be a common nationality because they are contiguous. They are bounded by race. They are bounded by region. And the second feeling is where they want to unite, but they do not want unity. They want to unite, but they do not want unity. Unite means to have a one, but no unity means I want to maintain my independence. When these two feelings are there, then there is evolution of federation. Then there is evolution of federation, common nationality plus union, not unity. So in this context, two opposing streams are there in federation, and these two inconsistencies are brought in consistent in a balanced manner by federation. Two streams are centralization, other opposing stream is autonomy, self-rule, and these are bounded by this concept of federation. So idea of federation came because of this. There was no theory due to which this originated. Actually, it is a practical consideration. So when it is a practical consideration, it's a myth that federation is a one static idea. There is no one static idea of federation. But actually, federation is a practical utility, means it is a functional utility. It's a functional arrangement. So when it is a functional arrangement, then no one can claim that this is the true federation. This thinking you can use to defend the idea of Indian federation. There is no one static concept. It is actually a functional arrangement. So functional arrangement, that means this will have evolution. This idea you can use anywhere. The concept of A.V. Dicey you can use in introduction. Common nationality, want union but no unity. So here in idea of federation, shared rule is there, but at the same time self-rule is also very much important for the idea of federation. Shared means there is a power distribution between the union which came because of the contract between the states, but at the same time self-rule, that means autonomy. And in this concept, this idea of federation originated through two manners. One is through agreement, like Australia, USA. Second is union because of the practical necessity to govern vast territory. They have adopted the idea of federation. Example is like India. Example is like India. So if we talk about what are the criteria of federation, there are 5 or 6 criteria of federation. First criteria is there should be division of power between center and state. And this division of power is vertical as well as horizontal. Horizontal means state. Vertical means center and state. First criteria for federation is division of power. Second idea is they have a defined power through constitution. Division of power is there, but the power is defined through constitution. Third is this power has exclusive field in which they can exercise the power. So third criteria is exclusive field for center and state. For example, in India, 246 list exclusive field, and apart from exclusive field, they have a power, they have an ability to exercise power and have an ability in their respective field. So power and ability to function in exclusive field. Field is demarcated. They have a power, but that power and ability to function is there in their respective field. Next is they have a separate agencies for center and state. And in this context, this idea of federation is different from confederation. In confederation, state came, agreement is there, but this union do not have its own agency. It depends on the state. But in idea of federation, each have a agencies. Center have its own agencies, state have its own agencies. Center have its own agencies. Then all these 5 of above are justifiable either through citizen or through these units. That means they can approach the court. They can approach the court whenever there is an encroachment. These 6 are the criteria for the federation. And if we judge Indian Constitution fulfills each of the criteria. No criteria is being breached by Indian Constitution. No criteria is being breached. UPSC will not ask these 6. But while writing introduction, they will be useful. While writing India is federation or not, or India is not a federation, but it has a federation concept. While writing those kind of answer, ye use honge. You can use these. These are 6 criteria. Now, if we talk about these, then India, the nature of federation. In India, we have a federation. We have adopted. This can be assessed through Article 246. This can be assessed through division of power is there. This can be assessed that we have a written constitution, and through written constitution, if there is a conflict, they can approach the court, where court is independent. Independent judiciary is there. Then, for the representation of state, we have a upper house, Rajya Sabha, federation. Apart from this concept, what are the other element of federation in Indian Constitution? Exclusive field is there. Exclusive field. They have a respective agencies for the implementation. They have a defined territory, and the defined territory is protected by the Constitution. If center will encroach, state can approach to the court. So in this context, India is federation. And this is being also reflected through the statement of Ambedkar. where Ambedkar says that states are not subordinate, but they are coordinating units for the center. They are coordinating units. They are not subordinate. When Ambedkar is saying not subordinate, then this itself reflects the thinking of constitution makers. Then he also says state and center are co-equals. You can write these lines in answer. Ambedkar says center and state are co-equal. State are not subordinate. States are not subordinate. Because when we are writing now, we are writing general. Bring these debates. These are there in NCERT. But apart from this federal, we have a unitary feature as well. India is a federal. It fulfills the federal character. But India is not like the US model. And the historical experience, the way we have a experience of laws, in that context, we have brought some elements which diverge from the true idea of federation, which is of USA. And that context is your 1935 Act, which had a centralizing tendency. Then the horror of 1947, partition, which we experienced. And in that context, we have gone towards the unitary feature, where the unitary features are your single citizenship. Unitary feature is your single constitution, no dual constitution. Unitary feature, we have an integrated judiciary, not like USA, where high courts of USA are different from the constitutional courts. Then we have all India judicial service, all India services, which are appointed by the center. Major power of penalty lies with the center, but minor power lies with the state. We have an election commission. We have a CAG. And both jurisdiction have on the state as well. Then we have a governor nominated by the center. Then governor, we have given discretionary power. And the word discretion is in itself is mentioned in the constitution. Then we have given Article 200 and 201 to the governor. Then we have an emergency power, 352 to 360. Then we have Article 339. What is Article 339? Scheduled tribe. And to further the welfare of scheduled tribe, center may give direction to the state. Then we have Article 256, 257 and 258. Right now in news because of the Bengal. What are 256, 257 and 258? I told to read the Lakshmikant because those are factual. UPSC will not ask these factuals. Hearted. They will not bring analysis, but they will enrich your answer. UPSC will not ask these, what are the features? They will ask that argumentative part, which abhi hamara aage hoga. But these things should be crystal clear. 256, 257, 258, ये तो पता रटा ही होना चाहिए. 2 हफ्ते से बंगाल में चल रहा है ये. 2 weeks हो गए हैं बंगाल में. State Election Commission, Center has sent forces. पता होना चाहिए था prelims के लिए. And UPSC, you know, वो पूछ रहा है लक्ष्मीकांत हम 5 बार पढ़ते हैं. क्वेश्चन कहीं और से आ रहा है, but वो आ रहा है. But can be taken through Lakshmikant if we have a logic how they are asking. These are the unitary features. Now I am bifurcating the center and state relation in legislative part, in administrative part and in financial part. Notes होंगे तुम्हारे पास, उनको एक एक करके बोलते जाऊंगा. What are the relation? अभी तक जो पढ़ा है, you should remember AVDIC concept. You should remember union. but want to maintain a unity. This idea is practical necessity. It is not a static concept. So when we are saying USA, that is their functional arrangement. That is their context. Our context is different. Our context is different. Because this will help you in defending Indian Constitution. Next, talk about the domains. India legislature, what is the domain of federation legislation? Article 246 to 255, which define the legislative aspect of federation in India. Legislative aspect. Now I will discuss article. What is the state contest? What is Sarkaria saying? They will not ask article to article, but this reasoning of Sarkaria will help you in the answer. In this context, legislative domain of federation, we have article 246, where 3 lists are there: central list, state list, concurrent list. Now, states are saying that wholly this division should be reviewed. Most of the function should be transferred to the state. Now, in this context, Sarkaria says that is beyond the scope of Article 368, basic structure amendability. Now, yesterday's question, can you bring Sarkaria or not? 368 and basic structure. Beyond the scope of 368, beyond the scope of Sarkaria. Some states are saying, because this is there, the center, state, union, state and concurrent, more power has been given to the union. Now our federation has matured. We do not have a threat like 1947. So most of the functions should be transferred to the state. And right now we are seeing increasing tendency of center to withdraw the items from the state list and to put in concurrent and union list. So they are also demanding the concurrent should be merged with the state. There are 2 arguments. One argument is wholesome review. Second argument is of concurrent list. Some states are saying wholesome review. So what Sarkaria says, it is beyond the Article 368. After the class, मैं एक document भी research paper पे share कर दूंगा, so that whatever I am saying, although you are writing, but when you will read the document, that language will come. Because ultimately, this is the whole idea of language, how you write that part. Okay. Now, second context is concurrent. Now, in this context, we have a feeling of distrust. And this distrust, before coming to this, just I'm going away from the topic on the evolution of federalism. Because when that evolution is there, यहाँ पर तुम्हें reasoning बहुत आसान हो जाएगा. Some states are saying concurrent list. They are saying concurrent should be merged with the state. Okay. Now, in this context, what Sarkaria says and why it says so. If we go to the evolution of Indian federalism, this has witnessed the phases of 47 to 69, 69 to 1969, 69 to 89, 1989, and after 1989 to 2014, and the era after 2014. This phase of Indian Federation, 1947 to 1969, is known as unitary phase of federalism. Unitary federalism means federalism was there. As a structural part, we have a constitution. But in this federation, what center was saying, states were implementing. There no two-way communication. Shared rules were there. And states have a respect for the center. Just one-way communication. And this unitary federalism, after this unitary, we have a phase of conflictual federalism. Conflicts were there between center and state. So there was a growing mistrust between center and state. And in this phase, if you see, you had a Rajmandar Commission, you have Akali Dal Commission, so many of commissioned by the state against the center, because there were so many misuse. And in this backdrop only, Sarkaria came. This was the backdrop of the Sarkaria, because Sarkaria gave its recommendation in 1980s, 1989. So this was a backdrop. When this was a backdrop, there was a mutual mistrust. State were pursuing the action of union in a negative manner. Whatever action center was taking, even if it is taking in good faith, they will see as that is curtailing their power. Now, in this context, again इस पे आऊंगा बाद में last में. In this context, Sarkaria says that concurrent list is fine, but when center is making law, it should first take into confidence the state. First, it should resolve the issue amicably. It should bring a law on concurrent by taking the opinion of the state. And as far as possible, when there is no requirement of a uniform policy, this should not be used. And only those items should be there which require a uniformity, because the distrust were there. That was the idea of Sarkaria. Now, the same idea is for Article 254 as well. Article 254 as well. Where in 254, we have a supremacy of central laws. You have a supremacy of central laws. State were saying, because union has a supremacy, they are encroaching over the state. So again, Sarkaria says, the supremacy of the union is a key arc of federalism, because when two units are there, they are bound to have a conflict. When they are bound to have a conflict, there should be an empire. There should be one body who can intervene and can maintain the harmony. So 254 is there, 246 is there. They are arc of our Indian federalism. And in this context, union should respect the state. And whenever it is disputed, the first union should consult the state. Because in any way, federation is not a static idea. Federation is all about the respect. Federation is all about cooperation, collaboration. Because both the units are for the welfare of the people. And the shared rules should be exercised for the welfare of the people. So this was the idea of Sarkaria. Same other context is on Article 249 and Article 250. Article 249, what is this? Center can make a law on a state list when Rajya Sabha passes with 2/3 majority. Now states are saying this should not be there. Now Sarkaria says there is no empirical evidence. This 249 article was used sparingly. First time it was used in 1950s to check black marketing. Otherwise, it haven't been used every time. Some instances are there, but state has a fear of curtailment of power. And because of that fear, they are saying Article 249 should not be there. But this is a fear. There is no empirical evidence. This is the language of critical analysis. Saying why they are saying. Critical analysis doesn't mean pros and cons. Next fear is on Article 250. What is Article 250? When 356 is there, Parliament can make a law on state. Article 250. Then Article 253 and 252. What is 252? When two or more states say that a law should be there, Parliament can make a law like Punjab, Haryana. Then Article 253, we are reading legislative aspect of federalism. Article 253, when center has signed international law, center can make a law on state list. 254, supremacy of union law. Supremacy of union law. Union law will prevail if state law is antagonistic to union law. Union law will prevail. But in this context, court has used the principle of harmonious construction. 2019 UPSC mains question. As far as possible, it will try to maintain the both the law, but remove that aspect which is antagonistic. UPSC 2019 मेंस क्वेश्चन पढ़ा, देखा है कि नहीं देखा है? दो टाइप ऑफ क्वेश्चन 100 में से एक कर पाएगा. बट इफ यू हैव आंसर राइटिंग थिंकिंग, इफ यू कैन ब्रेक, इफ यू कैन राइट नियर बाय इट, दे विल गिव यू मार्क्स. बिकॉज 100 में से एक ही लोग लिख रहे हैं. और ये एक्चुअल किसको आता होगा? जो लॉ ऑप्शनल का पढ़ा हुआ है. पॉल साइंस वालों को भी नहीं आता है तो जीएस वालों को तो भूल ही जाओ. पब्बेट वालों को भी नहीं आता तो जीएस वाले भूल ही जाओ. But they will not make your that list. But you should be able to write nearby it, and that is the basic philosophy. When you know the basic philosophy, you can write nearby. These are legislative aspect, and there is a context on 246, 254. There is a contest on Article 249 which Sarkaria resolves. Apart from this, there are other aspects which are not on this domain, where center and state has a dispute on legislative aspect. What are those articles? Article 200 and 201. Governor can reserve a law, and for the center as well. Apart from this, Article 31 clause 3. If 9th schedule is there and that law is for the 9th schedule, that cannot be passed unless it is reserved for the president. Unless it is reserved for the president. Apart from this, what are the legislative domain? Article 356. When president rule is there, parliament can make a law on state list. Legislative aspect. Theory part. Theory part. These are the legislative relation between center and state. Then administrative domain. Each and every square को याद नहीं रखना है. Administrative domain. They will not ask you this legislative, administrative, and financial. But when they ask you contested areas, you have to list down and you have to discuss. In the administrative domain, this goes with 256 to 265. Sorry, 263. What are the legislative contested area, administrative contested area? Article 256, Article 257, and Article 258. What is Article 256? You can open your Lakshmikant online. Vaishnavi, Divya. 256. 256.
So, obligation of the states and the
Creation of
states and the union.
Sir, obligation.
Obligation of what?
States and the union. Sir, obligation of states and the union.
Of what?
Sir, बस इतना ही mentioned है.
Obligation of state and union for what? For the compliance of the law. Article 257.
Sir, control of the union over states in certain cases.
And union property should be protected by the state. 258.
Sir, इसके बाद 257 A भी है.
हाँ, A भी है और B भी है.
Okay,
258.
258 is power of the union to confer powers,
To
etc.
maintain the unity and integrity, they can send a forces
on states in certain cases.
in the state.
Yes.
UPSC is not asking, but when this is in news right now, this can be a question on 256, 257, 258 on the Bengal, and they have a habit of asking these type of question. Like when NIA law was there, they've asked question NIA linking with federalism. When your epidemic act, disaster management act was in news, they've asked this question by relating the federalism. By relating the federalism. Because basic is something, but basic should be linked with the current. Question is not the current, question not the static, linking. When 256, 257 and 258 are there, states are demanding you have given too much interventionist power to the center. Again, Sarkaria says, when units are there, conflicts are bound to happen. When conflicts are bound to happen, there should be some agency that can intervene, and that is the center. That is center. Got the idea? Next, in administrative domain, you have vertical relationship. These are 256, 257, 258, 259, 270. But we are concerned where there is a conflict. Then there is state to state. Article 261. What is this?
Public
Article
Acts
260 is
records.
Industry Council. Article 262, river water dispute. Article 261, should be given respect in all the states. All laws should be given respect in the states. यही है ना? यही है. 61, 62, 63. These are administrative domain. Now on Article 262, they will ask you a question when this will be in use. In 2013, they have already asked. Inter-river dispute, River Management Board, 1956 Act, and river. They have
सर वीडियो स्टॉप हो गया.
otherwise no. Otherwise, your river dispute tribunals, center domain. And in the administrative domain, you have other areas where center can issue the direction to the states. Article 339. Your mother tongue language and imparting the language in mother tongue, center can issue the direction. Then for the welfare of SC, center can issue the direction. These are the administrative domain. Now, when they ask you list down, ये list down करना है तब. I have given you some points. So when you read your Lakshmikant for prelims, you should be in a habit. Yes, ये है ये वहां के इस point में question you will not find on one page. Whatever you have read for that question, and that thought you have to Are you audible? Next, these are your legislative domains. And apart from this, Zonal Council, Reorganization Act, that is also your administrative domain. Then in Zonal Council as well, 5 Zonal Council through Reorganization Act, 1 Zonal Council through Northeast Act, article year 1971-72. I don't yaad nahi mujhe exact. These are your also administrative domain. In administrative domain, you have all India services, IAS and IPS. In administrative domain, you have also DG conference, governors conference, CM's conference. These are also your administrative domain. Administrative domain, you have a Niti Aayog. You have Niti Aayog. In administrative domain, in central state relation, your pressure groups, your CII, FICCI, you can connect. Clear? Next is your financial domain. In financial domain, I'm just giving you a list of the contested area. From the financial domain, question is fixed on Finance Commission. They have asked on 13 Finance Commission. They have asked 14 Finance Commission. Right now 15th is in use. So this will be question in 2023 or 2024. In prelims, they have asked question on I'm just giving you a list. What are the contested area of finance? First contested area is enlargement of states' own resources. Enlargement of states' own resources. Because states are saying they have less finances. So their resource should be increased. But at the same time, Centre is saying you are not performing, you are not reforming, you are not ready enough to generate your own resources, and you are adopting populism policies. This is the contested area. States are demanding more resource. Centre is saying whatever we are giving, you are not spending in the right manner. First contested area in financial domain. Second contested area is enlargement of divisible pool by Finance Commission. Although somewhat we have satisfied with previous 2 Finance Commissions, but still states are demanding more. Divisible pool. Third contested area is the pattern of devolution, where southern states are saying you should not take into account population. Some states are saying you should not take into account forestry. This pattern, this year prelims question. Pattern of devolution. Next area is in all of these, the role of Finance Commission. The role of Finance Commission, because terms and conditions are set by central government. Then there is contested area in finance domain is states indebtedness. States indebtedness. State जो है, जो उसका loan है. For example, last year when you were reading for the prelims, Bengal was in news because of high fiscal deficit. This is also contested area where RBI trying to control. So here the concept of ways and means is also a contested area, because after a limit, when states borrow, they have to give more interest. Next is the contested area is sharing of capital resource. How central and state should share the capital resource. Then the area is your specific problems and specific institution in the financial domain. Example is GST Council. Example is GST Compensation Fund. A specific institution and a specific problem. This you have to collect from the newspaper. GST compensation, working of GST Council, Earlier, your planning commission. But in this domain, you have a central sponsored scheme where states are saying you are implementing, but one size fit all approach don't works. Now, right now, the contested area is in this context, Narega. MG, Narega. Where states are saying they haven't got the fund. But central complaint is you haven't fulfilled the required conditions. So here, states are demanding untied fund, not tied fund. So this question on central sponsor scheme will be there when that will be in use. Unless and until that will not be in use, they will not ask. So apart from this, if you go by factual, the contested area is your Article 275 grant, Article 280, what is this? Finance Commission. Article 282, devolution by Finance Commission. Article 293, prelims question 2021. What is Article 293? Borrowing power of state, and center put a limit. State can't borrow without the permission of center from the outside of India. Prelims question. These are the structural aspect of our Indian Constitution of federalism. But no idea fits. If we talk about Indian Constitution, we had a philosophy of cooperative federalism in our structure. But this idea of cooperative federalism is not a static concept. It's a working concept. Cooperation means units are working. They are co-working. They are collaborating. They are cooperating. They are sharing the resource. And if we go by that philosophy, the idea of cooperative federalism was inherent in our constitution from the beginning itself. But in working, we have seen the evolution of Indian Federation. If we see the evolution of federalism, first we have seen we had unitary federalism, then we had conflictual federalism. Right now we are saying we have a cooperative federalism, but after 2014 we are saying we are going into competitive federalism or to collaborative federalism. UPSC will not ask on these concepts, but तुम्हें फेंकना आना चाहिए. Competitive federalism and collaborative federalism. This unitary federalism is what was center saying that was avoided by the state, and this was for some of the reason. First reason was Nehru itself, the towering personality of Nehru. No one can say in opposed to the Nehru. Second reason was our horror of partition. So theme was center should be strong. No one should go against the will of the center. Third reason was for the economic development, we have adopted planning. Resources were limited and that planning was centralized. Fourth reason, monolithic party, Congress. Everywhere rule of Congress. Other reason, think the era 47 से 69 में क्या हुआ था? Emergency 1962, and in emergency we have a centralizing tendency. So emergency, they will not ask you these reasons, but you should be good enough to use in answer. That was the phase of conflictual federalism. This conflictual federalism was not imagined by our constitutional makers, but because if I say federalism is not static, it's a functional arrangement. While functioning, we have seen the conflict, and we say this phase as a conflictual federalism because the way Article 356 was being misused. We say because how the governor position was misused. We say how governor has dismissed council of ministers. Some on the very idea of corruption. Some governments were dismissed, but some governments were not dismissed. Some governments were dismissed. The way they have called for the majority, some absolute majority, some coalition, some post-poll alliance. So in this way, this position were misused. And examples are your Kerala in 67-69. Example, Karunanidhi government, 1980s. Example, Abdullah government in Kashmir. These were the examples. And why this was phase of conflictual federalism? If we say this, but what were the reason because of which we have seen this phase? First phase, the reason was away from the Congress, dominance of other parties, regional parties. The first reason, regional parties. Coming off regional parties. Other reason, second generation leaders. Because after Nehru, no one like towering personality of Nehru, second generation leaders were there who were equally strong contender for the prime ministership. So they wanted to maintain their autonomy. So there was a conflict between center and state. So second reason was second generation leaders. Second generation leaders. Then here also you can see the current of independent states. That's why in this page you have seen maximum number of states coming up, and demand of independent state in itself has led to the conflict. Because when regional parties were there, they want to have their own autonomy. When their own autonomy, they want to assert their right, whatever has been given. Although constitution has given, but center want to have their own assertiveness. So there was a conflict. Other reason was regional demand. Region specific demand for resources. Region specific development and requiring more resources from the center. That's why this conflictual phase of federalism. But after 89, we have seen the phase of cooperative federalism. Cooperative federalism is not an idea. Sorry, it is not a structure. It is an idea. Idea is respect. Idea is collaboration. Idea is self-rule, at the same time shared rule. And which is the basically idea of federalism? Because in the first, when we were defining federalism, what was the definition of federalism? Coming together, giving power. So it has power, it also has a power, but both are sharing. When both are sharing, both are giving respect, mutual respect. So this idea of federalism in itself has a idea of cooperation. But in functioning, we have witnessed in after 89, where some external factors, some internal factors have pressurized to go for that way. What were the factors for the after 1989 for the cooperative federalism? What were the factors? Think. Now this thinking is answer writing. Think about the phase of 89. Think about the governance. Think about the polity. First, coalition politics. When coalition politics, regional party has tested the power of the center. They witnessed what difficulties center face. But at the same time, when they are in center, they also want to give autonomy to their parties which are in the states. And state, when it is in the center, they also respecting the center. So mutual respects were there. So when this coalition were there, when they are in the state, misuse of 356 reduced. Position of governor, misuse, reduced. First was coalition politics. Other, think about the governance. What happened in the governance? In 1980s, 90s, you had a Washington consensus in the world. From the concept of Washington consensus, the idea of good governance came. When idea of good governance came, you can't dismiss state or other government for your flimsy reason. Stability was the demand. because supranational governments were watching. IMF, World Bank, when they are watching, you want to maintain your image. So second reason was arrival of the concept of good governance and watch of supranational governments, IMF and World Bank. Other reason, think about the governance. Who were active after 1990s? Your civil society became active. When civil society became active, they were keeping an eye on the action of the central government. More, think more. After 1990s, you had a internet penetration. After 2000, social media. So when these were there, common men were also keeping an eye. Ultimately, government is accountable to the people. So when center is dismissing, then what message will go to the people? So next is people's consciousness for the or people's awareness about the political process. Other phase, think about the politics. Why 1990s के बाद क्या हुआ है पॉलिटिक्स में, पॉलिटी में? Think about the court. क्या हुआ है कोर्ट को? Judiciary became active. PIL. In this page, you can see after 1973 or in 1980 case, judiciary किस अवस्था में थी? Sleeping mode में थी. After 89, judiciary were active, and activeness reason was PIL. Next, activism of court, judicial activism. Judicial activism. देखो इस टाइप के पॉइंट तुम्हें सोचने हैं. These are innovation. Although I am giving in answer writing, I want whatever you have read through this glance, how you can generate the point. LPG is not there. Washington Convention, good governance. When you want to bring the good LPG, just in this end, 1991 era, LPG reform, we have given side to the market. Now, market want stability. Market want policy certainty. And when certainty is there, when stability they are demanding, that means continuity of polity. And that has indirectly pressurized. समझ में आया? LPG will not be direct point. How LPG? LPG market. Market wants stability. Market wants certainty. So how? This will be your argument. Because sometimes we are writing and we are assuming examiner will know. He will not know. Just explain.
Sir, collapse of USSR.
How?
Sir,
Collapse of USSR and how it is forcing our government to collaborate. समझ में आया? लिंक करने को करो, फिर वो वैसा फैक्टर नहीं हो सकता. After 2014, we had gone to the cooperative federalism, but there was a rise of single party BJP. So again, we have turned towards, in some aspect, unitary federalism, but still parties are there, opposition rules are there, they are demanding their assertiveness. But after 2014, we have gone to the competitive phase of federalism, where states are competing in a friendly manner, like Vibrant Gujarat Summit, Vibrant Bihar Summit. And this you can see through the constitution of Niti Aayog when they are giving the indexes, aspirational district index, governance reform index. So states are competing. Your Swachh Bharat Abhiyan index, your SDG index. So when this index is there, what states are saying? They want to have a top. So there is a healthy competition. And through this healthy competition, so this phase after 2014, this was healthy competition between this horizontal part. And in 2014 only, we have gone to the collaboration as well. Your diplomacy is the domain of center, but center is actively taking states along through the concept of para diplomacy. Like Kerala was active to have a relation with West Asia. Your Tamil Nadu is very important for Sri Lanka. So how center is taking them into account? The concept is para-diplomacy and climate change. The concept of energy, the concept of sustainable development has forced the state, because right now problem are not global. Right now problem are not local. They are local. There is a mix up of globalization and localization. When global concept is there, these federating units are also collaborating with the in international affairs. Example is your Chhattisgarh and Telangana 2021 prelims question under 2S coalition. Next, para diplomacy. Next, global. They will not ask. You will use in conclusion. You will use in conclusion. They will not ask localization. They will not ask climate change. They will not ask collaboration or competitive edge of federalism. You have to use. And if we truly want to achieve collaborative federalism, we should give same status to LPG what we have given to the state, and this statement you will use in LPG conclusion. If truly want collaboration, I should give same status to the LPG which I have given to the state. So I should penetrate more towards third tier of governance. You can use this part in conclusion to the LPG. Where you want to give true status to LPG, you can use this in LPG conclusion. LPG conclusion. This dimension will help you in making good intro, in having a good conclusion. And other idea is these, remember these words. Federation is not a static institutional concept. It is a functional arrangement. It has evolved according to the context, according to the situation, and it is a practical utility. This line you can use in any conclusion of federalism. When this thinking is clear, even if they are connecting current, you can write so that they can give you 3 or 4 marks. Even if you do not have an idea. This is the concept of federalism. Answer writing is not this content, but answer writing is how one content will be useful for every question. Now I am going to the question. Not the majority, when there are different power between center and state. So when we are saying 2014 collaboration, competition, but still there is a unitary elements are there. Where same party rules and absolute majority at the center, opposition is weak, that also lead to the conflictual federalism. So when they will you give you some aspect, you can use this part. Ultimately an answer, use this one or this one. इस तरह का डायग्राम तुम्हें बनाना है, जैसे ये पॉजिटिव फेस दिखा रहे हो, इसको थोड़ा नेगेटिव बता रहे हो, इसको कहां बता रहे हो, पॉजिटिव. या फिर because in answer writing मैंने एक बार बोला था, to generate the point, use the idea of life cycle. Either represent life cycle through this year, but when you know there are some positive, there are negative, and जब भी किसी लाइन के नीचे उसको हम क्या देखते हैं, नेगेटिव, इस आइडिया में भी दर्शा सकते हैं. They will not ask you this diagram, but when we are writing in 1 or 2 line, you can draw this diagram. They will not ask, because this is political science. This whole idea is political science. But this whole idea and functioning, 1 or 2 line, I can use in mains for GS answer. For my GS answer. Now, if this philosophy is clear, you can attempt any question. अब हम क्वेश्चन पे आते हैं. लेवल 1 के 1-2 क्वेश्चन लेता हूं, बट बिफोर लेवल 1 के क्वेश्चन लेता हूं. चलो पहला क्वेश्चन. It may be, but that will you say on the basis of functionality. What is going on? What is going on? But if we say right now, theme is not unitary, broader theme is cooperation. But sometimes conflicts are bound to arise. What is happening in Bengal? What is happening in Punjab? What is happening in Maharashtra? What is happening in Delhi? क्वेश्चन से ज्यादा समझ में आएगा. फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन देखो, शीट है ना सबके पास. फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन, what are the essential of federalism? What are the essential of federalism? Clear? Second is analyze the nature of Indian federation. I have put this question on level 1. ठीक है? क्वेश्चन की डिमांड क्या है, क्वेश्चन के पॉइंट्स क्या हैं, और क्वेश्चन का स्ट्रक्चर क्या होगा, और तुम्हारा आंसर हाउ यू विल राइट डिफरेंट फ्रॉम अदर. 2 मिनट का टाइम है, करो. Initially you have to make in mind, generate the point. First question keyword is true federation, and second keyword is essentials of true federalism. यही है second keyword. Analyze. What analyze? Nature. Answer writing first, demand is clear, question simple. Second is point generation. Third is structure. Now, if you are writing, you know the answer. One simple person can write, these are the essential feature, whatever we have listed down 6. Or if you have read the Lakshmikant, written constitution, whatever wo hai. Then nature of Indian federalism, you can go to the quasi-federal, फेडरेशन फीचर बट यूनिटरी. बट ये तो सबको ही लिखेंगे, तो हर कोई लिखेगा. व्हाट इज एनालाइज, कैसे और सोच सकते हो डिफरेंट. अगर तुमने ये मीनिंग लिया है ट्रू फेडरेशन एग्जिस्ट और नॉट, you are going towards the attacking the idea of federation as well. This federation is not a true, it is not a static concept. What I have said, that is the elements of federalism, but it is a institutional arrangement, it is a dynamic arrangement. So what I'm saying, I am saying with respect to USA, but it is a context specific because it is not the idea which came from the theory. It was first implemented, practically utilized, then we have brought into the books. So when we have brought this, when you're thinking in this way, you are generating the points, because your points will determine where you are going. Where are you going? Otherwise मेरे इस पढ़ाने का कोई फायदा ही नहीं है. Take the meaning, because in exam you're not taking the deep meaning of each and every word. Even if word is essential, you can attack. You can attack the true federation. Federation is there. The word is true. So is there any idea of true or not? There is no idea of true. There is no idea of true. But when you are at simple level, you simply say true federation is this. You will not counter. Analyze the nature of Indian federation. So you can think of unitary and federal, but quasi. You can think of why this. Why I brought this? Because word is, even if ये word नहीं होता तब भी मैं जाता, because यूपीएससी का जो क्वेश्चन है ना वो अपने आप कह देता है कि कहां जाना है तुम्हें. यहां से think nature. Yes, I will say this, but why this? I will say this, but in this context, some critics are saying we are not this, we are not this, but I can attack this. If I am thinking freely to support this, can I use Ambedkar? Because some critics are saying, but what my Constituent Assembly debates say, whether they had a thinking of this or not. Yes, I am adopting this. Why? When I'm saying I'm going toward this, I will defend to this with this word. Think freely. Don't be stuck to the what is the question. Think freely each and every word. Initially, it may take time. It may take time 15 minutes. That doesn't matter. Initially, what will matter? What is your right thinking? Like yesterday, I gave a question. Divya wrote in the morning. I rejected. I said, write in the evening. She wrote. But इसका fear क्या था? So 17 minutes लग गए. 17 minutes लगे. Right answer तो आया ना. And that thought धीरे धीरे क्या होगा? Time क्या लगेगा? कम लगेगा. You are writing. Why you are in a hurry? You want selection. You do not want just you have to write. When you are right thinking, it is taking time, but slowly that will comes down. Like जैसे when you are learning a car, initial क्या याद रखना पड़ता है? कौन सा गियर है? एक पर चल रही है, दो पर चल रही है, मेरा पैर कहां पर है? क्लच पर है कि रेस पर है? ये होता है कि नहीं होता है? 7-8 दिन बाद क्लच सही चलने लगता है, गियर याद रखना पड़ता है, फिर ऑटोमेटिक चलता रहता है, याद रखने की जरूरत ही नहीं रहती है. बिकॉज द स्पीड विल टेल्स यू, ऑटोमेटिक योर हैंड विल गो. द सेम इज द प्रोसेस ऑफ दिस. व्हेन आई हैव सेड अ स्किल, दैट मींस इट रिक्वायर अ प्रैक्टिस. यू कैन आंसर सिंपल. एक तुम्हारा सिंपल क्या कर सकते हो? द ट्रू फेडरेशन इन दिस कंटेक्स्ट, इंडिया is a quasi federal because it is a federal but it is a unitary. Yes, they will give you marks, 3 marks, 3.5, but you have to fetch 4 or 5. 5 is this only. Selection lies here, rank lies here. इसको तो पीछे लमूटना हो गया है. 700-900 में लमूटना है तुम्हें. बस लटक जाओ. लटकना है या आगे जाना है? Because this is the fight. And you know the answer. But for this, just think freely. Word think. Word think. When you have thought freely, that will determine your structure. And इसके लिए content बहुत रटा हुआ होना चाहिए. Use the same content. And उस content के साथ think freely. When you will go, you will think also about the true, like she did. Otherwise you will not. अगर ये है तभी तुम मेरी बात याद रख पाओगे. It is not a static, it is a functional. So how you can say there is no concept of true? So in this context, India is federation because we are fulfilling the idea of this. But yes, somewhat we are deviating. But when we are somewhat deviating, that doesn't means we are not a federation, because federation is not a static idea. It is evolving. When you have thought, अब मैं structure बनाऊंगा, I will make a structure, the true federation. Either I can write this, or I can write what is the concept of federation or philosophy. In this context, the true federation elements. Now, in this context, the nature of India, where federal feature but deviate unitary. Now, when deviate in this context, critics says India is not federal. Then I will defend no. How India federal? Analyzing, you are analyzing on the basis of these elements, and you are defending. You are here. You are attaining the idea of true. This is actual answer writing. Demand, point, structure. Think freely. Don't be bounded. What is the question? Take the meaning, and that is the meaning of analysis. You do not have to learn what will come. You have to learn what should I think? How should I think? This structure will not matter. What will matter? What we are reading. How on the basis of those, तो तुम्हारे पास इतने सारे क्वेश्चन है ना, वो सारे होंगे. Today I am just taking level 1. Tomorrow I will go to the level 2. Go to the level 2. I will briefly summarize the concept, then level 2. An article, whatever is there in Lakshmikant, तुम उसको रट्टा मारोगे. I've given you on the content, but I've just written what is this, what is this, what is this. I have explained you the theory. But if you want to go through, then it is there in NCERT. Whatever I have said now, that is there in NCERT. Just grab that idea, that concept is there. They are saying it is not a functional arrangement. Sorry, it is not a static. It is a functional. And the concept is being adopted according to the history, according to the society, according to the societal needs. They also says, use this. We need not to have to mug up federation cases, but the way they are asking case laws, we should remember 1 or 2 case laws. I will share a PDF. वहां से extract कर लेना. They have all the case laws of federation, 10 to 15. हमें एक या दो ही लेने. मैंने उसको पढ़ा इसलिए नहीं है, वो क्या factual है. But the argument of those you can use here. सेकंड क्वेश्चन पे जाऊं.
सर क्या मैं कुछ ऐड कर सकती हूँ इसके स्ट्रक्चर में?
क्या
सर इस क्वेश्चन के आंसर में मैं स्ट्रक्चर में कुछ ऐड कर सकती हूँ?
हाँ बताओ.
सर
मैंने क्या कहा, ये स्ट्रक्चर फाइनलाइज नहीं है, कुछ और भी हो सकता है. अगर तुम्हारा है तो बोलो. मैंने जब भी शुरू में बताया था 3 या 4 स्ट्रक्चर बताए थे. बिकॉज इन आंसर राइटिंग एवरी स्ट्रक्चर इज ट्रू. बोलो वर्षा.
सर क्वेश्चन क्योंकि 1993 का है तो सर हम सोवियत बैकग्राउंड रख सकते हैं 1991 का.
क्वेश्चन कैन बी ऑफ 1993.
तो सर
आई हैव टू गिव एग्जाम इन व्हिच ईयर?
सर
2024.
सर
आई हैव टू राइट आंसर अकॉर्डिंग टू 2024. डोंट थिंक व्हिच ईयर, राइट इन दिस ईयर. गॉट द पॉइंट वर्षा?
Yes, sir. But I was thinking if I were to write it in 1993, I would have used Soviet background, the breakdown of Soviet Union as like how it has served as a threat.
वर्षा वापस एक बार वापस आज की सिचुएशन करके फिर वापस हम डिस्कस करते हैं. ठीक है. सेकंड क्वेश्चन देखो. आर्टिकल 2 and Article 3 of the Indian Constitution are inconsistent with the spirit of federalism. Comment. I am giving you 3 minutes time. Whatever thinking you can think of, whatever content you can bring, Just give me that content and give me the structure. Three minutes starts now. Article 2 and 3 किसी को पता है? सबको पता है ना? Article 2, change the name. So Article 3, Article 2. What is Article 2?
Addition of new states, sir.
Admission or establishment.
Of
Article
new
3,
state.
altering the name.
Yes, sir.
Two and 3, inconsistent of federalism. So when I am thinking, I should know about the spirit. At the simple level, most of people, what will they will do? They define the what is the federalism. They'll define how 2 and 3 is inconsistent. Conclude. Go beyond.
In the question, article 2 and 3 of the inconsistent. मतलब ये जो inconsistent है, अगर we can delay, so we can.
What are the demand? What is direct demand? That demand is inconsistent. Is there any indirect demand?
So why inconsistent?
It's an indirect demand as well.
So
But
why?
to go indirect demand, first you have to assume. If you define this spirit of federalism, first simply think, it doesn't, when I'm putting yes or no, it doesn't mean each and every question yes or no. No will depend how you are arguing. How you are arguing. Like, my knowledge is there. Spirit of federalism. The spirit of federalism is union, not unity. Union but not unity. Spirit of federalism, respective field, respective area of sphere. And in the respective area of sphere, they have power and ability. Power and ability. Now, in this spirit, if we talk 2 and 3 are making India indestructible union of destructible state. So inconsistent. 2 and 3, even if state negates, center can proceed. Inconsistent. Mostly people will stop here. Now, if you want to go no, how you can think? Before that, what you will think? Before you will say the idea of spirit of federalism. Yes, spirit of federalism, but the idea of federation is not a unique, not a static. It's a institutional arrangement. Now, if we talk about Indian history, what was that? What was that? Now, in this context, if we have adopted, that was my context specific, my contextual. So this idea may be inconsistent, but if I take the idea of federation is not unique. In this context, 2 and 3, yes, exception is there, but my working is always a federal polity. So यहाँ पर इस तरह का व्यू ले सकते हो, जैसे तुम्हें yes का सबको मालूम है. If you are taking no, first define why no. So define the concept of federation itself. You have to go to the static institutional arrangement. You have to go to the theory or practical utility. When you're talking about that, you can say no. Our idea is related to federation. Somewhat we are deviating, but somewhat deviating because of my need, my context, my experience of 47. And sparingly, government has used this. In the cooperation, in the functioning, I always going towards the cooperation. Even center is changing the name. They are taking consultation of the state. And very less example where union has overruled the state in this way. Mostly people will write here only. They will not go here. And to go here, you have to give argument. You have to think innovatively. You have to bring innovation. And if you can bring this, you can make good argument. An argument will fetch marks, not the content. Not the content. Content you have to mug up. But in class, you have to learn how to generate the argument, which we are by heart, rote learning. उससे marks नहीं मिलेंगे. ये तो हो गया मेरा point. अब मुझे इसका क्या बनाना है? Structure. See, my structure will depend on my points. If I am not able to think about the federation, if I am not able to define the federation in my own language, I can't go here. इसलिए मुझे उस तरह का क्या होना चाहिए? Content पता होना चाहिए. Then I can only go to the no. But when you are learning now, you are jumping from demand to directly structure. But fault will be there. Because you have to show what you know. Because you have to write what is your strength, not your weakness. पतला का no लिख दिया, you do not have a point. And you are writing, just को फिर काट रहे हो. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. Because whole process we are learning, so that my pen should not stop and I should not strike down. My copy should be neat and clean. And I should complete the paper. That's why we are going this, because our whole idea is this 7 seconds should be replicated in 7 minutes. Initially, it will take time. Now, if I make a structure, I can define spirit of federalism. Then I can define 2 and 3, or I can, while writing, I can write it is inconsistent, and at the same time I can explain 2 and 3, 2 and 3. Then I can go defining the idea of federation. While defining the federation, I can say 2 and 3 are there, but they are not inconsistent because they are according to my need. And last, the 75 years of history and the working of federation also prove this, that my federation is working. ये वाला तुम्हें 4 मार्क्स दिलवाएगा अगर यहां पर हो, ये तुम्हें हाफ मार्क एक्स्ट्रा दिलवा सकता है, हाफ या 1. This will fetch you 4 marks, जो मोस्टली लोग लिखेंगे. This can fetch you half or 1 marks. Got the point, Anand? Think freely. Don't be bounded by the question. You can negate no. You can say this question is wrong, but prove. Like UCC you are reading. One complete opposite idea, you are fascinated by that idea. Next day, idea which is opposite to what you have read, you are fascinated by that also. Fascinated by that also. That means the way, what kind of thought you have according to that part, right. Prove or disapprove. It will depend on your argument. That's why I have said, read the NCERT from those angles. Don't read NCERT from the angle of collecting facts. Read from those angles. What kind of argument they are making. आगे बढ़ूं?
So ये no वाला part समझ नहीं आया, उसमें लिखना क्या है?
In no, you can define what is the idea of federation. An idea of federation is not static. It is a practical utility. It is an institutional arrangement. So 2 and 3, yes, making a union more power. In this context, to reject Indian Constitution that it is not following the spirit of federalism, it would be a wrong. Because federation is an institutional arrangement, and the 1947, our horror experience has forced our constitution makers to insert such type of article. But if we see the Constituent Assembly debate, statement of Ambedkar, who says that states are not subordinate but coordinate, they are co-equal, state and center, then this spirit in itself is reflecting in Constituent Assembly. इस तरह मैंने यहाँ पर 2 and 3 को कंसिस्टेंट नहीं बताया है, मेरी आर्ग्यूमेंट में देखना 2 and 3 को इनकंसिस्टेंट बताकर मैंने अपने आइडिया को क्या नहीं बताया है, फेडरेशन के खिलाफ नहीं बताया. I have said 2 and 3 inconsistent, but here I am arguing my whole of the idea of federation, and this whole idea I am saying one part is 2 and 3. If I see complete picture, in complete picture my federation is not against this. Why it is not against this? Why when I have inserted 2 and 3, why I have adopted? 6 मिनट का टाइम है, एक बार आंसर लिखो, इसी क्वेश्चन को आंसर लिखो.
सर इसमें दोनों आर्ग्यूमेंट दे सकते हैं, यस और नो वाला.
एक बार लिखो. हाउ? You can say Maharashtra Karnataka conflict is there. So center by using Article 2 and 3 can do. But because it is functional arrangement, center is not doing. It is respecting the voice of state. Yes, you can write. पर लिख के बताओ. 6 minutes time starts right now. have adopted either of these two. 2 and 3, how inconsistent. But most, one of or two of you here just are writing federation. But what is not federation? Word is spirit of federation. And spirit is self-rule, giving autonomy to the states. But why not completely true? Two, if you are taking the other dimension, conclusion. Other aspect is defining the spirit of federalism. Amrut, give the copy. उसने बहुत अच्छा intro लिखा है इसी पे. Then, in this context, Article 2 and 3. Then, how there is inconsistency? So, is this 2 completely true? Why? Why not? Conclusion. But when some of you have, when they have wrote this, the transition to 2 is not smooth. Abruptly just written. They say the spirit of federation, which ensures autonomy of states and keeping all states together. This spirit is ensured through considering states' consent in territorial, financial, legislative, and administrative manner. And in this context, if we see the Indian Article 2 and 3, transition hai. And here, see, when we are writing, we are not using the adjective. See how he has used the adjective. He could have written, spirit is ensured through considering states' consent. But what he wrote? In territorial, financial, legislative domains. See the weight. Consent is also right. After the consent, those words, they will give you heavy weight. So in writing, not just writing, but this transition should also be smooth. And you have to play with the word of the question. Like Vaishnavi have written in the group. She has used here in this her structure is this 2 and 3. And in this context, it is inconsistent with the federalism. But the word should be spirit and it should be defined. Some of you have written 2 and 3. Then said, now it is inconsistent federalism because spirit. Because whenever you are writing because, first define the spirit. Examiner will not know. You have to define what is the spirit. Because otherwise, some people will write the definition of federalism. Some will write spirit of federalism. There is difference. Because people may write federalism like written constitution, all of these. But word is spirit, core. The core is self-rule. Core is shared rule. Code is common nationality. Common is union, but not unity. That is the spirit. Spirit is integrity, territorial, financial, legislative, administrative. And the 6, those elements, they are the spirit. यही 2 यूज किए हैं ना. अब देखो तुमने जब ये यूज किया तुम्हारा पेन रुका है, ये देखो सबने 6 या 5 या 6 मिनट में किया है. जबकि हम करते क्या है, आंसर पहले लिखते हैं, सोचते बाद में. When you will think freely, your dimension will be अलग आएगा वो. She gave the idea that disputes are going on between Karnataka, ठीक है, between Maharashtra and other states. If 2 and 3 is there, so to resolve the issue amicably, Center could have made a law by using the Article 2 and 3. States can't deny, and Center is not making. Means 2 and 3 is given. 2 and 3 is given to maintain the unity and integrity. And Center has not used. That means the spirit is there, and that federation is the core concept. That's why Center is not using. Center is not using. So this idea has been given to maintain the supremacy of the union. So you can write this way to defend here. If you will think freely ना, तभी वो point याद आएंगे, नहीं तो याद भी नहीं आएंगे, लिंक ही नहीं कर पाओगे. And that one point can give a edge. तो एक पॉइंट में क्या दे सकता है, edge की, yes, she or he can think in an independent manner beyond the books. कर्नाटक और ये महाराष्ट्र वाला पॉइंट समझ में आया ना? अगर होता तो सेंटर क्या कर सकता था? इंटरवीन. Center is not doing. So 2 and 3 should be used in exceptional circumstances, and they are using in those situations only. Like your admission of Sikkim. बट वो आएंगे नहीं. बट यहां पर इसको डिफेंड करने के लिए क्यों नहीं यूज? Always first demand, then go on point. This should be very strong. If this is clear, you will not have a fear of content. Content is same. If this is there, whatever you have read for the prelims, that factual part is clear, you can generate the argument. Then structure. This is clear, then you can write in 7 minutes. Later on we will work diagram and all presentation part. इसके अलावा किसी का डिफरेंट है? अगर ये नहीं सोचोगे फ्रीली तो कहां स्टक रह जाओगे? 1 और 2. यहां भी कहां स्टक रहोगे? यहां पर जाओगे नहीं. क्लियर? एक क्वेश्चन और लिखो. लेवल 1 ही, लेवल 2 कल लूंगा मैं. Fourth number, Indian federalism is described federal in form, unitary in spirit. Comment. 2 मिनट का टाइम है, स्ट्रक्चर बना के दे दो. Indian federalism is described federal in form. Fourth number, unitary in spirit. Sorry, federal in form, yes, unitary in spirit. SPIRIT है, स्पेलिंग गलत है वहां. Structure and point. Tinku. पॉइंट डिमांड हो गया. 2 मिनट का टाइम दिया था. कीवर्ड ऑफ द क्वेश्चन, इंडियन फेडरलिज्म. सेकंड कीवर्ड, फॉर्म, फेडरल, स्पिरिट, यूनिटरी. कमेंट. फेडरल इन फॉर्म, how? Unitary in spirit, how? Or how means element, why means reason, how inform elements. सिंपल है. तो नैनो का डायमेंशन ही नहीं है. अब इसके लिखने के लिए दिस या a federation has following features. In this context, if we talk about Indian federation, division, comma, article 246, comma, these agencies. In this context, in the structural part, it is अब देखो एक डायमेंशन यहाँ हो सकता है, इट इज यूनिटरी इन स्प्लिट, बट यहां से थोड़ा एक और एंगल अगर लेना है अलग तो क्या ले सकते हो? नॉर्मल वर्किंग में तुम्हें क्या दिखता है? नॉर्मल वर्किंग में तुम्हें क्या दिखता है? मतलब थोड़ा डायमेंशन सोचने के लिए, क्योंकि यहां पर स्प्लिट यूनिटरी है तो तुम्हें पता है हाउ, व्हाई यू नो, बट दिस स्प्लिट is not counted to the idea of my federation, because normal times I am working with federation, and with the evolution of idea of cooperative federalism, the federation idea is becoming also my core spirit, which is also being stamped by 1973 केशवानंद भारती जजमेंट. कंक्लूड कर सकते हो, सिंपल, ये सिंपल, हाउ, व्हाई, कंक्लूड लिख सकते हो. कोई भी स्टेटमेंट, इवर्जनिंग का स्टेटमेंट, कोई भी स्टेटमेंट, सिंपल लेवल 1 है. लेवल 1 में मैं थोड़ा अलग क्या लिख सकता हूं, क्योंकि इसमें ज्यादा स्कोप नहीं है. लिख सकते हो, लिख के बताओ. नाउ मैं अगेन अगला क्वेश्चन दे रहा हूं, 2 मिनट का टाइम है, तुम्हें 20 से ज्यादा पॉइंट जनरेट करने, 20 से ज्यादा. क्वेश्चन नेक्स्ट 5वां. Identify the contested areas in center-state relation. Your time starts now. Generate more than 20 points. Demand is clear? Done. When I've given to generate the points, that generally means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Think in a systematic manner, because these type of question, demand is clear. Who can generate maximum points, they will face the marks. Simple. Contested area, divide legislative domain, administrative domain, financial domain, or other emerging issue, or you can divide horizontal or vertical. Ye we have read here 246, 254, here 249, 250, 252, 254, 253, administrative 256 to 258. But here in vertical is horizontal dimension 261, 262, 263 is not a contested area because it is a interstate council. नाउ फाइनेंशियल डोमेन ऑल जो तुम्हें लिखवाए थे वो, देन अदर इश्यूज, अदर इमर्जिंग इश्यू, यहीं इमर्जिंग में लिख सकते हो फिर जीएसटी, जीएसटी काउंसिल, disaster management, your COVID management. Right now, emerging issue, Karnataka scheme, then open-ended scheme, open sale scheme and the reduction by the FCI. That's why Karnataka is not able to fulfill its. ठीक है, other contested, इस तरह डिवाइड करो ना. In answer writing, you have to learn how systematically you have to go. Because in paper 3, challenge is not the answer writing. Challenge is generating the points. As many as points, you will fetch the marks. Mudit, IPS, then IRS. He used to generate maximum points. 10 marker, उसका सीधा हिसाब 10 या 12 पॉइंट जनरेट कर दो. Generate the points, and those will happen when you will think systematically. First approach is your syllabus. Syllabus should be by hearted. If syllabus crystal clear, पॉइंट जनरेट करने में आसानी होगी. Then life cycle approach, the phases through which they go, like in Krashi, in farming, if I say problem area, you can write 1, 2, 3, 4, but I can start before the farming, on farm, after the farm, because it is a life cycle. Then again I can divide economic, social, political. Think in that way. So when I have said contested area, doesn't means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Think in this way, because this is 1 point. You can write 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 2, and other which you can't merge here. Write them extra. Emerging issues of climate change and financing model. Then write emerging issue of cybercrime. Emerging issue, institution, CBI and ED. Emerging issue, CBI and ED. Emerging issue, your finances, like RBI and control. In this way. Not answer writing, how you are thinking. Because that is a part and parcel of your answer writing. Next. Vertical, state, center. Horizontal, state, like state, boundary disputes. तो सेंटर स्टेट आएगा यहाँ पर ओनली सेंटर स्टेट. और अगर यहाँ होता आइडेंटिफाई द कंटेस्टेड एरिया इन फेडरलिज्म ऑफ इंडिया, तब सारे आ जाते. आर्टिकल 245 in what context? Contested area. Next, question number 6. Demand. If you can understand demand, question is clear. If you won't understand, question is not clear. Unlike the constitutional symmetry of American federalism, Indian federalism has been constitutionally asymmetric. Explain. What is demand? What is demand? Demand क्या है? धवल. दिव्या, डिमांड. उन्नति.
सर एसिमेट्रिक फेडरलिज्म के ऊपर है, मतलब हमें बताना है कि अमेरिकन फेडरलिज्म कैसे सिमेट्रिक है, जहाँ स्टेट के बीच में इक्वल रिलेशन है, बट हमारे यहाँ स्टेट्स के बीच में एसिमेट्रिक रिलेशंस है. कुछ स्टेट्स को बेनिफिट मिलता है, कुछ स्टेट को नहीं मिलता।
Here, just think symmetry, asymmetry. Asymmetry means not equal. So not equal. USA equal. Example, how equal? Senate equal membership. Then
Indestructible
dual
union,
citizenship
indestructible
is in
states.
everywhere. India asymmetric, where you can see Schedule 5 and 6. Then Finance Commission, Upper House, or
India have integrated judiciary.
integrated judiciary. Some states do not have High Court, or your Legislative Council. Some states do not have. देखो ये क्वेश्चन जो है ना, डिमांड होगी तो आ जाएगा, बट इन डिमांड में भी पूरी पॉलिटी को क्या तुम पूरी पॉलिटी स्कैन करनी पड़ रही है कि नहीं पड़ रही है, या कहीं एक जगह तुमने पढ़ा है इन वन गो, क्या तुम कभी पढ़ा है? बट होल ऑफ द पॉलिटी यू हैव टू स्कैन, दिस यू हैव टू लर्न, दिस यू हैव टू कंसोलिडेट, एंड दैट इज आंसर राइटिंग। अब क्वेश्चन तो क्लियर है, डिमांड लिखोगे कैसे? यूएस हाउ एसिमेट्रिक, बट इंडिया हाउ US how symmetric, how India asymmetric. But if you want to add a flavor, you can say why asymmetric. But वो लिखना है क्योंकि explain है वहां पर. You can add why am I asymmetric and where I can see the asymmetry. Asymmetry you can see also in scheme, but that will not come. Why? What is constitutional? Constitutional asymmetric. So that's why I will not write the scheme, because they are not in the constitution. जो ट्रू है उसको कैसे नेगेट कर सकते हो? वो ट्रू है, इसको कह सकते हो व्हाई वी आर एसिमेट्रिक। मैंने क्या बोला, हर क्वेश्चन में यस और नो नहीं है। When you are thinking no, so from no, how you can think different? No doesn't means countering. The no word is for your thinking, whether you can think extra or not. When the question is of universal truth, you can't say no. But universal truth, if you want to give a different flavor, then that no will give you an edge how you can think extra. Because in asymmetry you can't prove na symmetry is there, that is a fact, but you can prove why this asymmetry, 47 again, why this asymmetry? ABC means organization of states in A, B and C, diversity, that you can think. Okay, एक क्वेश्चन मैं करवाता हूं लेवल 3 का, फिर कल हम केवल लेवल 3 करेंगे। ये क्वेश्चन करो बस, 2015 यूपीएससी क्वेश्चन, इसमें नहीं होगा। 2015 यूपीएससी क्वेश्चन है, करो। Which question? Level 3? Level 3 question number 4. ये एक क्वेश्चन डिस्कस करूंगा कल, मैं लेवल 3 के सारे क्वेश्चन डिस्कस करूंगा, क्योंकि जितना ज्यादा मैं क्वेश्चन डिस्कस करूंगा तो तुम्हें वो जो एक ही कंटेंट है ना उससे यूज करना आएगा। टुमारो तब तक तुम्हारे पास टाइम भी है रिवाइज करने का फेडरलिज्म, क्योंकि कल कंप्लेन नहीं कर सकते, वो रटावा ही नहीं है। If you are not able to understand, underline the keyword, write the keyword separately and make relation. You will be able to figure out what is the demand. Then think word separately. Content is there in front of you. कोई बताएगा डिमांड? क्वेश्चन क्या पूछ रहा है? Concept of cooperative federalism. Why it is emphasized? Then your drawback and emphasis are same or different? Because of the drawback only you will emphasize.
सर सेम ही होंगे.
Always think common sense. Because when drawback is there, you will go for the different concept. So drawback is also reasserting, I have to go for the cooperative. Think first, concept of cooperative federalism. It is increasingly emphasized. Why? Because drawback is there in present structure. Because drawback is there, that's why. This one. Existing structure is a structure. This is structure or function? Function. Function. So when you are saying I am going to function, that means you are changing your structure or the structure is same. Your prelims is not happening. Will you change your Lakshmikant or you will not change? Are you changing? ये बताओ पहले. No. You are not changing. But what are you changing? The way you read. Think here same. Structure 47 same. 2023 structure same or different? Have you changed? No. But 47, 69 different. 69 conflict same structure. We are in 23. Conflict, yes or no? No, but some are there. Reduced. So first thing, what is the cooperative federalism? The way you will define cooperative federalism, that will drive your answer. That will derive your answer. The philosophy of this should be very much crystal clear. And the philosophy of federation should be very much crystal clear. Then only you can attempt the answer. Because this is an intangible question. The intangible, there are no facts. You have to bring the argument. And the way you will think, that will derive your answer. Question is simple. Structure have a fault. Yes, structure have a fault. So when a structure have a fault, emphasis on cooperative federalism. But cooperative federalism is not a magic. It is the idea. When only one will implement, then only I will be able to fetch the results. And even if I change the structure, I have changed my structure, I have brought the RTI, but I am not able to change the mindset of bureaucrat. RTI is being hampered now. Structure is there. Same cooperative federalism. But through cooperative federalism, what are you doing? You are changing the mindset of mistrust. You are bringing the mindset of trust. You are bringing the mindset of cooperation. You are bringing the mindset of collaboration. So when those are there, even if structures are there, they may have a fault. But think that way. You can change the perversity of mind, can't change the perversity of heart. तुम किसी को रोक नहीं सकते वो गलत काम करेगा, भले तुम कितना भी लगा दो. सुबह 4 बजे निकलोगे, रेड लाइट तोड़ोगे. दोपहर को 2 बजे रेड लाइट नहीं तोड़ोगे. क्यों? पुलिस खड़ी है, 4 बजे कोई देख नहीं रहा है. तो यहां पर भी ऐसा है. स्ट्रक्चर कैसा भी हो, if that thinking is not there, you will break. But if you will bring the thinking, इस आइडिया को यहां यूज होगा. और ये क्या है? इंटेंजिबल है, टेंजिबल है? Intangible. So, but intangible things relate with your common observation. What is that common observation? Bring in these questions. That's why I put this question in level 3. उसका आंसर एग्जाम में बहुत डिफिकल्ट है. एग्जैक्ट तो कोई जा ही नहीं सकता. जो इसके आसपास भी जाएगा ना, उसको मार्क्स मिलेंगे. Because when these type of question, people are just writing structure and what is cooperative federalism. They are not attacking the core. मैं थोड़ा हिंट दे रहा हूं. कल तुम में से हर कोई मुझे इसे एक्सप्लेन करेगा या इसको लिख के लाएगा. कल ही मैंने होमवर्क दिया था, बहुत कम लोगों ने लिखा है, 3 या 4 लोगों ने. ग्रुप पे डाला नहीं तो दिखा देते. अब देखो यहां पर मैं अगर आइडिया अटैक करूं, increasingly emphasize, I can go to, if I see my history from unitary to conflictual. So this. And due to this, I have increasingly emphasized the idea of cooperative federalism, which is finding a root in India after 1989. But the conflict part was there because of some structural fault. Like, search karo wo structural fault of concurrent, fault of union supremacy, fault of governor, this. And in this concept, cooperative federalism. But cooperative federalism is not a structure. It is not that you can restructure the constitution. It is an idea. It is a philosophy of cooperation, philosophy of mutual trust, philosophy of shared rule and self-rule. Now, in this context, if both the units abide by this, even if structure is same, they will go by the spirit of federation, and which we have seen after 1989. Yes, sometimes because of the structure, we see conflicts emerging, but because of mistrust, like issue of Governor of Bengal, issue of Governor of Maharashtra, the issue of Karnataka. Yes, they are from the structure. Even if I can change the structure, problem will be there. I have to adopt the thinking of cooperation, cooperative federalism. Then the India's federalism problem can be solved, because federalism is not a static idea. It is a functional arrangement, and when it is a functional arrangement, it depends all on how we are फंक्शनिंग, हो गया। कहीं भी मैंने पॉइंट डाला है क्या? मैं अटैक किस पे कर रहा हूं? बार बार क्वेश्चन को बार बार कहां ला रहा हूं? कॉपरेशन, फिलोसॉफी। सिंपल अगर लिखना है, व्हाई एम्फेसिस ऑन कॉपरेशन, व्हाई एम्फेसिस ऑन कॉपरेशन, तो इसके लिए लिख सकते हो प्रोग्रेस और ये करना है तो। नाउ इन दिस कंटेक्स्ट आई विल स्ट्रक्चरल फॉल्ट, व्हाट आर दोस? हाउ कॉपरेशन इज अ सॉल्यूशन टू माय स्ट्रक्चरल फॉल्ट। ये 3 हेडिंग में भी लिख दो, आंसर आ जाएगा। मैंने पैराग्राफ में लेके गया हूं, पॉइंट में अगर हेडिंग बनाऊंगा, सिंपल ये हेडिंग बनाऊंगा, व्हाई एम्फेसिस, व्हाई, व्हाट आर द ड्रॉबैक, सो हाउ cooperative federalism is a solution to structure. So structure will remain the same. I have to change the mindset. जो मैंने बोला है ना, उस पर जाने में टाइम लगेगा, इस पर तो रह ही सकते हो ना, ये ताकि 7 मार्क्स तो देगा ना, क्योंकि मुझे अभी पहले रिक्वायरमेंट 7 मार्क्स की है, उसके बाद मेरी रिक्वायरमेंट है 8 मार्क्स। To what extent cooperation will solve the problem? Because it's a mindset. जैसे करप्शन रोकना है, तो क्या if you will make the institution, will it solve the problem? No. तो यहां पर जो ARC, अगर 4th ARC पढ़ोगे तो वहां पर है, you can make the institution, you can bring the values, not values will suffice, nor the institution will suffice, you have a combination. So cooperative federalism spirit should be there, but at the same time you should change some structure. उस फिलोसफी से ये लेके आओ। एक्सीडेंट रोकने हैं, ठीक है, रेड लाइट है, स्पीड ब्रेकर्स है। दूसरा, चेंज द माइंडसेट, बट चेंज द माइंडसेट एंड स्पीड ब्रेकर दोनों होने चाहिए। यहां पर सेम थिंकिंग, कोऑपरेटिव फेडरलिज्म कांसेप्ट शुड बी देयर, बट एट द सेम टाइम चेंज द स्ट्रक्चर एज वेल। ये धीरे धीरे जब तुम्हारा रीडिंग का दायरा वास्ट होगा ना, तो धीरे धीरे ये लैंग्वेज आने लगेगी कि हाँ, यस आई कैन थिंक इन दिस वे। बट एट द सिंपल लेवल क्वेश्चन इज टफ, जस्ट इन्हीं हेडिंग से ले जाओ, आंसर आ जाएगा। इसलिए मैंने इसको लेवल 3 में डाला है, इंटेंजिबल। कल मैं लेवल 3 के सारे क्वेश्चन डिस्कस करूंगा। थॉट में फेडरलिज्म का आइडिया क्लियर होना चाहिए। एनसीईआरटी फेडरलिज्म चैप्टर 10th क्लास 11th क्लास रीड, देयर दिस थिंकिंग इज देयर। ये जो थॉट है ना वहां पर है, बट व्हेन यू हैव रेड, you haven't read from that thinking. अगर वो सफाइस नहीं तो एक मैं डॉक्यूमेंट भी भेज दूंगा, उसको भी पढ़ सकते हो। 30 पेज का डॉक्यूमेंट है, होल दिस आइडिया जो मैंने बोला है सब है उसमें, यू कैन पिक। पर पिक करने के बाद तुरंत क्या बनाना है? नोट्स। अगली बार नोट्स बनाने की जरूरत नहीं होनी चाहिए। एंड लीव ए पेज ब्लैंक फॉर अपडेशन। एवरी ईयर 1 क्वेश्चन, एक क्वेश्चन है ही है। ये सारे क्वेश्चन यूपीएससी के जो मैंने दिखाए थे, मैं भेज देता हूं वो भी अलग से, क्योंकि मैंने इन क्वेश्चंस को फेडरेशन के नोट्स में डाला है, जिसमें क्वेश्चन और फ्रॉम 1979 टिल डेट। टुडे आई थिंक कंसेप्ट मस्ट बी क्लियर कि रीड कैसे करना होता है। डिमांड पॉइंट स्ट्रक्चर, ये थोड़ा मैं कल और स्लो चलूंगा पॉइंट को, क्वेश्चन को ब्रेक करने के लिए लेवल 3, बिकॉज इन लेवल 3 डिमांड पॉइंट स्ट्रक्चर विल हेल्प, क्योंकि इन लेवल 1 वी नो द आंसर बिकॉज कंटेंट इज देयर। दिस डिमांड जनरेशन ऑफ द कंटेंट, क्लियर? एक बार प्रैक्टिस करोगे खुद लेवल 3 के, ताकि कल आसानी होगी। एंड काउंटर क्वेश्चन, because more the counter question, more learning will be there. Then tomorrow I will send 10 to 15 answer of federalism, जो ये है ना सबके लिखे हुए हैं। Clear? tomorrow 9 o'clock कल करूँ फिर बताऊंगा। वैसे मैंने सिंपल बता दिया है, कल एक बार करूँ फिर मैं बताऊंगा। बट बेसिक है, कोऑपरेटिव फेडरलिज्म की फिलोसफी क्लियर होनी चाहिए, ठीक है?
सर आप
ऑनलाइन को डाउट
डॉक्यूमेंट ऑनलाइन भी मेल
हाँ।
करोगे या ग्रुप पे डालोगे?
मेल मेल
ओके सर।